Correct. We want to make sure that you can definitely create those essential moments. And so we hope that everyone can hear us because we have been having just a little bit of technical difficulty. But listen, this is love in rare form, right? So we are definitely going to have rare moments. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and ugly as we always do, and make sure that everything is good. So my husband was talking about, what was you saying? Balancing work and family. Balancing work and family is always a challenge. But what tip, like if you had to give our couples or our married couples tips on, you know, just something quick that they can think about as far as marriage, what would you tell them about balancing work and life and family?
Well, one key thing, I already kind of mentioned it, but we're gonna say it again.
What?
Don't get so busy. Don't get so busy making a living, you forget life.
That's so true. That's true because we definitely have to set boundaries, and boundaries
Absolutely.
are important. So when you talk about setting boundaries, we talk about how we have to define what our work hours are and to stick with them. So those are one of the things that we want to share with you all because I think a lot of times where we get so busy at work, especially when we are trying to climb that corporate ladder. And when we're trying to climb that corporate ladder and be so busy at work, sometimes we bring work home. And when we bring work home, our spouse, we be wanting time with our spouse, with our family. And next thing you know, we don't have that time with our spouse or our family because we're trying to finish up work and we're trying to do that at home. And that pulls away from the family. So we don't want to do that. So define work hours and stick to them, correct?
Disclaimers between the two. I know we can't take a vote, but between the two, who do you think work the longer hours at home?
We'll take a poll later. I
But
don't want long
but
hours at home.
but I'm just trying to tell you, protect your family time from interruption. So when you do have family time, when you do have that family time, protect it from outside interruption. So if you set
Absolutely.
family time down and you want to play spades with your spouse to show who is dominant,
And you want to kick their butts.
you want.
I said it. I said it. Every weekend I gotta prove my worth to this one.
She's been on the lucky roll.
Dominoes, spades. I be kicking his butt.
Yeah. But anyways, so those
Admit it.
she's won a couple games. So
Admit it.
even at that, if you have children, when you're spending that family time with your children, make sure it's quality time. Make sure it's uninterrupted time that you have. It could be just going to get ice cream or going to a movie or going on a walk. But just make sure that time is fruitful and that it is in a good space between you and your family. And then communicate. One of the biggest things we talked about last week was communication.
Exactly.
So, make sure that you communicate your time with each other. You know, let your wife or your spouse know, and your children, or even if you like right now, my mother was, we make time for her as well.
Right.
But my
prioritize family
everything.
time. That is
Yes.
important, and we'll get into the dynamics because everyone wears different hats. The husbands wear different hats, the wives wear different hats. Just in our family dynamics alone, my husband, he working, so outside of the home, that was a transition that he had to go back into the office. And so being a father and then uncle dad, to our nephew and a husband and now a caretaker for his mom. So those are many hats that he wears and still has to prioritize family time with all of these hats that he wears and have that time separate from work.
And that's
And
just
that
like,
can be challenging.
yeah, and that's just like, even with you, doing Women Live, you just finished school, you're being an auntie mom, grandma, caretaker. What? are. You're a great grandma. Listen, I wouldn't say you're not a great
Best
grandma.
life ever, Grandma.
Yeah. So, um, all this going on, happens, and life just keeps moving. So,
You have to
but
make
you
moments count.
that's it. You gotta make them, you gotta prioritize them and make them work.
Right. And plan intentional family activities. When you plan intentional family activities, that shows that you are prioritizing your family as opposed to prioritizing work. Now, sometimes families only go out, maybe, they plan that yearly vacation to where, okay, we're going to spend time with the family, but be intentional. If it's not every day, every week, try to plan something with just the family. Family time is so important. And then here's the biggest thing. Even if it's just praying together, which I'm not gonna say you should be doing it every day, but put that into your family plan every day. Okay.
Yes.
We don't tell people what they should be doing, but as for my
Oh.
husband and I, we pray every day because we're a
Mhm.
family. And listen, the only thing that covers us before we walk out of that door is the Lord. And we have to be protected by God. And so we take that prayer time with Him and making sure that He's going before us before we walk out those doors very seriously. And even before we start our day. So
Absolutely.
so that would be the first and foremost, that try making sure that God is included in everyday life.
Be
And
intentional.
be intentional about putting God first in everything
Yes.
that you do.
Yes. And another thing is, you want quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
You want to be present with quality
Yeah.
over your quantity. So you can do everything in the world as far as being there to have family time, but make sure it's quality time.
Absolutely.
You don't want to just do it to say, all right, I checked the box. You want to have quality time. You want to make sure that the time spent is rememberable time, even if it's just a brisk walk or driving a car with your spouse. You want that quality
Yes.
time.
Those are the
Okay.
best conversations.
Yes.
And celebrate small moments together. It may not be something big, but small accomplishments, small moments. If it's just losing a pound or two, celebrate that. Go for a walk together. Those are the best conversations that you would be surprised that you can have. Is just when you steal away with your spouse and you're just walking. Listen, I have a friend who gets up every morning at 5:30 to go walking, and just those moments and those quiet moments early in the morning, the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. So those quiet moments where you can just walk and just enjoy nature, enjoy the outside, enjoy the breath in your lungs that God has given you. Join your spouse when you're doing that. And I'm not saying that everyone has to go out walking, but that's just one moment that I could just, think of. But it's important. It's important when we
And
steal away.
another thing too is when you talk about family, I'm gonna put this out there, and family isn't just your family by kin. Family is your family, that your church family. Family is your friends. Family is your friend who you grew up with, close to you. So you can have your family as close,
Right.
as close as as they say, blood. But someone said something to us this weekend that kind of stuck with me when he said,
Absolutely.
blood was thicker than water.
Blood is thicker than water.
And he's talking about the blood of Jesus, which is thicker than water. So blood is when you say you have a family or you have a friend, listen, celebrate those moments with them. At our house, we celebrate all the time. I always have friends over, we eat, we have a good time. So if I say your family, if she says your family, your family.
Exactly.
And we love to create special moments with our family.
Absolutely. And we love our family. And that's one of the things, we always say, as for me, and I'm sure that's in every house, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And we do. We serve the Lord, but then we love on each other.
Absolutely.
And we love on our friends and we love on our family. So take the time to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, what motivation would you give our married couples if you were to motivate them? One quick thing. One quick thing that you would
She's
give
trying to control my hand, y'all, because I'm getting ready to say something.
no. Control your hands.
Oh, okay.
So what you know I do that. Jeez Louisa. What motivation?
Mm.
If you were to motivate someone right now, what would you say?
Mm. Well, I think of a quote. Let me think of a quote. A quote by Miss Ruth Bell Graham, and
What does she
it's
say?
just she says a happy marriage,
Mhm.
a happy marriage, a happy marriage is union,
Mhm.
the union of two good forgivers.
That
Two good forgivers.
two good forgivers.
Good forgivers. That don't mean bring something up in the
What
past.
if you're a bad forgiver?
They don't get that quote.
I don't forgive you.
You don't get that quote.
You know
You
that
don't get that quote.
a happy marriage. So what makes a happy marriage is having two good forgivers. You don't survive 27 years without forgiving something.
Mm.
Do you forgive me for beating you in spades and dominoes though? Okay. Two good forgivers. that's what makes a happy marriage.
Oh, here we go.
So what we also want to balance, we want to take the time to balance responsibilities because I think that's important when you're trying to, we're already talking about balancing work and family, but responsibilities too is like scheduled work and family activities. So we talked about that, but also sharing activities at home or the responsibilities at home because it's important. Like some couples will say, okay, well, this is the woman's job, or this is the man's job.
Yeah, they say that. There's a lot of people out there that say that.
What say you? Because you're giving me a look.
No, I'm just saying, but that's true. They do say that. There's people out there that live their houses like that or run their homes like that, and that works fruitfully for us. We share on the responsibilities. We work together. One key thing is we set priorities for the family.
That's true.
Another key thing is if someone needs help, we need help. We ask for it. Don't hesitate to ask for help. If you need some help doing something, ask.
So let me be transparent. So, ladies, when we ask for help,
go ahead. I'm listening.
Clean the garage.
Here we go. This garage. This was the topic last week. If y'all didn't catch the garage, go ahead.
Just clean it yourself.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
All I'm gonna say.
God created a helpmate. That's all I'm gonna say.
We are definitely great helpmates. So we will help, the family as a whole.
Okay.
I think that's a great comment that you made, that God created helpmates, because neither one of us were created to bear life alone.
Right.
With everything that goes on in life, and I think two are better than one.
Mm-hmm.
And as we work together and as we, separate work from family and use that priority time to take time to do what's important and to involve ourselves into each other's lives. Because sometimes, the husband can be so involved in what they do. And then sometimes the wife can be so involved with what her do. But the roads never do meet.
Right. Right.
It's basically like roommates.
Right. Yeah. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be roommates.
No.
Because if you become roommates, then things happen. But one key thing too is like,
yes.
Just, recently, I do help assist coach the football team. And as much as I know my wife really doesn't like outdoor sports, I asked her, I said, "You want to come watch the game?" And her first response was,
"No."
No, but then it was no.
It was no.
But then she came downstairs. She said, "No, I'm gonna go with you." She said, "I'm gonna come and support you." And she knows me because we ran out of water, believe it or not. And I'm looking around up in the stand, and she's waving at me, but I can't see her, because she knew what I was going to ask her to do. She just knows me,
Absolutely.
But that was a moment. That was a quality moment for me to know that she was there. Mm-hmm. And that if I needed her, she was going to do whatever it needed to get done to help me through that process. And that's one of those quality moments. Yeah. So going back, just different techniques. Now this one, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go and speak on this first topic is calendars.
Calendars and reminders. But you know what? We don't. Okay.
Before TikTok came out with the calendars on the wall, my wife had calendars all through the house. My nephew will tell you there's a calendar upstairs right now, and if you don't look on that calendar, it's a hurt lock for you. It better be on the calendar.
I'm a calendar person, but also too the people that are around us, because we have couple friends that use calendars. So I'm not the only one that use calendars. Like we have couple friends that use calendars, and even people in our deacons ministry, they use calendars, which I absolutely love
I know you
because
do.
it's one of the things that we have to not just in couples, but you have to make sure that you are respectful of people's time.
True.
And when you're respectful of people's time, you understand that, hey, I have this calendar and I have no problems with putting time and setting aside time away from work and away from family to put towards this,
Mhm.
but respect my time. And so I love the fact that, a lot of people more and more are going to use the calendars.
And I don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't use the calendar. I'm always in trouble. I'm always in trouble. And it's not that I'm in trouble. It's just she always says for us to keep everything in line and keep everything flowing. Let me know what needs to go on the calendar, and I'll put it on the calendar.
What all do you tell
I
him?
neglect.
He double books himself,
All the time.
triple books himself, and then he comes home, or someone will call and say, "Hey, where's Chucky supposed to be doing this?" What? He's supposed to be doing what?
And then she'll say, "You double booked yourself again, sir."
Like he's out of town.
So
He's
my
supposed to be
goals
doing
that I'm
what?
supposed to be setting on a daily basis or
gonna
a
do
weekly basis, yeah, I'm doing that. We're doing. I'm doing. Do you think I'm doing
So on to the next topic. Say no when needed. That's what we're going to talk about. Say no. I always say no is a complete sentence. The biggest thing that we have to understand is that you have to be okay with people's response to your no.
Mm-hmm.
If you say no, it's a no. And just they're going to have to be okay with your no, and you're going to have to be okay with their response when you tell them no. It's a complete sentence. It's a no. And it's not always a bad thing. It's just that, when you don't have the capacity to do something or commit to something, then you just don't have the capacity. And no is your favorite friend. And then also, too, don't commit to something that you can't do. Always say, and I always tell my son this, is that let him know that you'll try to do it, you'll try to make it. But if you absolutely cannot, just say no. It's okay.
And especially if it's to protect your family time.
Exactly.
That's the key thing. If you say no during, especially if it's to protect your family time, because you don't want to say yes and then you take away from your family. Exactly. Especially if you've already made a commitment, even though the date hasn't come and you made a commitment. Mm-hmm. And no, and like he said, you can say no and be gracious about it. You don't have to have a harsh no. I know is a soft no. Yes. And keeping each other in the loop. So communication, when we talked about last week, is keeping each other in the loop. Like those calendars, share your plans and your worries and your wins, right? Yeah. Make time for regular check-ins. We always want to do that, to make time for regular check-ins. And then listen without distractions. And sometimes when I say listen without distractions, that means listen without, because sometimes we can listen and then we're already thinking about what we want, how we want to respond. And when we think about how we want to respond, that ends up interrupting the other person. So be cautious of that, because I know that's one of the things that we work on all the time, is just making sure that when one is talking, that the other one listens. But, it's not always. And we try to do that respectfully, just to kind of listen to each other. You got to hear what someone's saying. And if you don't hear it and you hear it improperly, just ask for clarification. Exactly. I mean, that's just, family and marriage 101. Just clarify. Please clarify. I would say, hey, I don't understand what you're saying. You got to break it down for me. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So the goal in marriage is not to think alike, but to think together. We always want to think together. Mm-hmm.
we used to, when our kids were younger, we would always say, hey, listen, we've got to have a united front because they're going to gang up on us.
Mhm.
So even though we might not think alike, but we think together. And even when there are things that come up, or even when we talk about, I think recently, when we just went to the night of prayer, the day of prayer, we talked about just making sure that one of the things that we want to come out of this is just to be more intentional about how we think about different things and different subjects, and that if there's any concerns or anything, that we would talk to each other just to kind of share what our thoughts are, because our thoughts are always good. Okay, so that is one of the things that the goal in marriage is not to think alike, but to think together. That is by Robert C. Dodd. Okay.
Self-care and spiritual renewal.
Finding strength in faith.
Faith. Finding your strength in faith.
That is huge.
Yes, and you have to
huge.
you have to put your prayer time first in everything that you do, and especially with your family and family time. Like we said last week, always pray, and but you have to pray together as well.
That's so true.
Praying together strengthens the marriage. It strengthens, the relationship. And here's a key thing: everybody don't pray the same. Everybody does not pray the same,
Not at all.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
But make sure that you do it. That's the key thing. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And seek fellowship and seek spiritual growth. First of all, seek it personally,
Yes.
and then seek it as a group.
And if together.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
There are some devotions that we'll sit down and go through. And we have like the Bible for couples, and then we have the Mr. and Mrs. and the love that she desperately needs, and I think it was the respect that he deserves.
He deserves, yeah.
And so we have those books that we read together. Story Martian has books, how to pray over your spouse, and or the power of a praying wife, and then the power of a praying husband. So those things, you can read and spiritually grow together. And not only that, just like if there's something that you're reading in the Bible, share that. And make sure that not only that you're growing together as a couple, but you're growing together spiritually. Because I'm telling you right now, having God in the midst of your marriage will hold things together when you feel like everything is falling apart.
Right.
God can hold it together and nurture your heart and mind.
Protect your gates. Protect your gates.
For sure.
And what that means is protect what you hear, what you see, and what you say. Absolutely. Protect your gates. As you're nurturing your mind and your heart, protect your gates.
So important. And Matthew 6:33 says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So just seek God. Whenever you're going through financial difficulty, seek God. Whenever you're going through trauma, seek God. Whenever you're going through frustration, seek God. Whenever you feel like your partner is not your best friend, seek God. Whenever you're not on the same page, seek God. When you find it hard to nurture the heart and the mind of each other, seek God. In everything you do in your marriage, if you're a couple looking to get married, seek God. Say, God, listen, is this the right one for me? Because I'm telling you, married couples, we're not always the first ones, but well, some are. Because some people marry their first love and all of that, but I wasn't his first love. He wasn't my first love. But I tell you, what God puts together, let no man put asunder. And that we take to heart. So seek God in everything. Yes.
And men, as we stand in the gap, we have to pray first. And then we bring the wife and pray. It's just how I believe. And how I think that it lets us lead our home. It lets us lead our home. Yeah, it lets us lead our home.
And so, a final encouragement that we want to talk about is progress over perfection.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the biggest things is what? Celebrate small wins.
Always celebrate a small
I
win.
think we talked about that a little bit. We touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then learn from challenges. Woo! I tell you, marriage and love is full of challenges on our website. So go to our website, www.loveandrareform.com. And you'll see some of our quotes on there. And, one of our quotes on there is that love is easy, but marriage is work.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is getting over one hurdle after another. Sometimes, some marriages, smooth sailing, but I'm telling you right now, you don't get through 27 years without challenge.
That's true. And you got to keep harmony. And that's a key.
For sure.
And, and it goes back, I want to go back to one key thing is just balancing your work life. In our beginning marriage, I worked all the time, and I was working at the VA, and I was working crazy hours. One minute I'd be on first shift, one minute I'd be on second shift, one minute I'd be on third shift. No quality time. And then we had a tragedy that happened in our life, and I told myself then, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not missing no more of anything. And so I had to make a change. And I told them, listen, I got to go to one shift and one shift only. That was it. Either that or, I was going to leave. And I don't care what the finances was, because that tragedy could have just destroyed this whole family. But it didn't. It strengthened us because of God. God was in the midst, and he kept us and he helped us through. And we'll talk about that in a later session. But I bring that up to say, men, make time, no matter what the job is. Sacrifice and do that. Make that time, because you don't get it back.
That's true.
You don't get it back. And one of the longest hurts I've ever had, and I never really shared this with her, but one of the longest hurts I've had is that when our tragedy hit, because I was constantly working at that time. So
balance is not something you find.
It's something you create. You got to create it.
You have to create it. It's not just going to come out of the blue.
Mm-mm.
You have to be intentional about finding balance with family and with work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So to conclude, we want to reflect, recommit,
and move forward.
What does that mean? Reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Reflect. So we want to reflect what matters most to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes like hand in hand. Like, I have to reflect on what I know, what matters most to you. Or even if I don't know, think about what matters most to you, because I know during football season, that matters to you, especially when WVU is playing.
Yeah.
And so,
win or lose, but yeah.
And so you need that time. But also, too, one of the things that I tell our daughter is that when the husband comes home, what's important is that because they're already out there fighting the world, they should not have to come home and fight home too. So give them that time to just kind of sit and reflect and come down out of their day. Most men, don't want to come home and just, all of a sudden have to deal with work and then don't have that downtime. I think that's important for just men and women, just to reflect on what is that downtime. And I know for him, having his downtime matters most when he's coming home from work, because he needs to come down out of the day. He's just getting off the road. He is, on the phone talking and putting out fires all day, solving problems all day. So he needs that downtime. I know that matters to him.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you. Because it is important. It's very important. And it goes both ways. Even when my wife was in the corporate world, she would come home, and I mean, there would be times that you would be working And she would work until 12 o'clock at night. And I would get upset and tell her, listen, this work's over. It's time to go to bed. You can't sit in there all day and then get back up the next day and get it. That was some of our biggest disagreements was that. And I just couldn't comprehend it. I just couldn't comprehend it. But the other thing is to recommit, choose one way to prioritize your family this week.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge.
That is a challenge.
Everybody. Put your family first this week.
Absolutely.
Do one thing with them that is of quality, not quantity, but of quality. Sit and talk. Hey, listen, would you like to do this or would you like to do this? And come into agreement and then do it.
And even if you're a family of two, just you and your spouse or you and your mate, do something this week and prioritize each other. Not the kids, not the in-laws, not the friends, not the church. Prioritize each other.
Each other. That's very important. Yes. And then, moving forward, you want to take small steps
and lead to big challenges.
Yep. Big changes.
I'm sorry. Not challenges.
But big changes.
Big, small steps that lead to big changes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You got to have those big.
Why did I say challenges?
No.
Where did that come out?
I think you're ready for another spades challenge. I think that's what that is.
Listen. We don't even want to go there. Let's not. I tell you. You keep trying to beat me, but it don't work. So it's okay. I think we need a bigger group. We're going to have a game night.
Yeah. Game night sounds fun.
Couples
game night. Men against the women. Y'all won't get to cheat this time because y'all won't have nobody cheating right now. Marks. We had a game. We do a Christmas party every year, right?
We're not going to do that.
Just real quick, family. This is family. We talking family now. So we do a Christmas party every year, and they had somebody giving the men's points to the women.
That's not true.
Yeah. And I know she's watching. So yeah, you was cheating us. She gonna call me.
Don't be calling out my friends.
But anyways.
Don't come for my friends.
Anyways, we love them. I love her. She knows.
So families are the compass that guide us.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
They are the inspiration to reach great heights and our comfort when we occasionally falter.
That's so true. And family knows better than anybody. Like we can pretend to the world out there or strangers, but family know you inside and out. I think that's one of the things that is great about family is that they know the good and bad of it. They know where you come from. But I think one of the better things is they can appreciate how far God has brought you as well.
Yeah. They know your life. They know the roads, or the chapters of your life.
The chapters of your life.
That. Yeah, that's good.
27 chapters.
27 chapters.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. And we'll give tribute to Brad Henry.
Mr. Brad Henry.
Yeah. So on that note.
I think that again, I just want to say this again. Because it's very profound. Spend quality time, not quantity time.
So important.
And the thing with that is, see, I can't. It looks like my eyes are closed now. But the thing is that the quality time is the most important thing.
It is.
And my wife tells our children that have quality time. At all times.
And so we thank you and thank you for joining us at Love in Rare Form.
Thank you. Until next week.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Complete your challenge.